I'm looking for all the baddies all over the world. Ladies, where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Way bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Way bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad.
Welcome to the Not So Secret Lives podcast. I'm your host, Shan.
And I'm your host, Karina.
And today we are going to be talking about, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's like the science behind sex and attraction and like sexual feelings.
Ooh, like why it happened.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I did a ton of research.
Thanks, babe.
You are the most welcome. But then went into panic mode for 20 minutes when I couldn't find said research.
Oh, yes. But we found it.
We did find it. We missed last week because I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
And just like not in the mood, which is not normal. So
We're really sick though.
I was really sick. So Karina and I just watched movies and vegged all night. It was fantastic.
It was great.
Yeah. And then we were going to record on Sunday, but we had Karina's work Christmas party, which was an open bar.
It was insane.
It was insane.
It was so much fun. And the prep for all that, it was just a busy weekend.
It was a busy weekend. It was just too much.
Yeah.
But your Christmas party was so much fun. The Spasmatics came. It was an open bar. There were so many amazing people.
It was fun.
It was like pretty formal. Everyone was dressed up.
Yeah.
It was just so much fun. I had such a great time.
Those parties are always the best.
Yeah. And you just work with such amazing people.
I do.
Like, it's just such a good time.
I do.
Okay. Well, before we get into it, I actually have something that I would like to say.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay. So I got the unfortunate news that our podcast is being discussed and apparently, quote unquote, changing the minds of people on my character and their perception of me as a person.
Fuck everybody.
I know. It bummed me out. Because the person that it was coming from is incredibly judgmental and just never has a nice thing to say about me. So I was bummed out.
Yeah. No, you were.
So, but all I have to say to that is that if you don't like it, don't listen.
Right.
I'm never going to change who I am as a person just because someone doesn't like it or it doesn't fit the narrative of their lifestyle.
Right.
This is something that I really enjoy doing, and if you know me at all, which is why I was a little bit surprised about these people, because if you know me at all, you know that I am incredibly open in my life in general.
Right.
Especially about dating and especially about sex. So I was pretty surprised to hear it, and it did hurt my feel-bads for a second, but you know, what are you going to do?
It's probably also people that you haven't seen in forever.
It was. Yeah, it was. And people love something to talk about.
Yeah.
It just, at that moment,
oh, of course,
it was not a good feeling.
Yeah.
So I think that's also kind of why I wanted to talk about it a little bit, because I wanted to say that, like, even though it did hurt in that moment, like, I just don't care.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how important that person is to me. I still just don't care. I've talked to my boys about it because obviously they're old enough to understand.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "This is your life, Mom. Like, we get it." They were raised very sex positive, so they're like, "You know what? This is you. You do you. We're not going to listen, but this is you."
Yeah.
Those are the only people that matter to me. So this is just something that I wanted to address, just to get it off of my mind. I'm never going to dim my own light just because others think that I'm shining too brightly. I'm never going to stop being my authentic self. And I'm never, ever, ever going to care about the opinions of others, especially if they can't talk to me and tell me to my face that they have an issue.
Amen.
And I really do hope that the haters keep listening and they keep talking about our podcast, because it's just free advertisement.
For sure.
You keep doing you, boo. You keep telling people how much we're talking about sex and how
bad press is good press because somebody's talking about it.
Amen.
Yep.
Amen. I think it was more the person that it was coming from.
I think so too.
And kind of the context of the messages.
I felt like it was just to be hurtful towards you, and I'm not okay with that.
Right. But it gave me a lot to think about. And it was almost like a good thing to grieve the negative comments almost, because then I thought about it, I grieved about it, and then I woke up the next day and I was like, it's so dumb that you even thought about it for longer than 10 seconds because you love this.
Yeah.
You love the positive feedback.
Yeah. And we get so much.
So much. I went to dinner with a very good friend of mine of over 20 years, and she told me, we went to dinner last night and got drinks. And she told me, you have changed my marriage in a way. She was like, I've listened to your podcast and I've heard the things that you have to say about like understanding what your partner wants and like really like thinking about what is important to them and being a little bit more selfless. She was like, so I made him a bath and then I like gave him a massage and he like really appreciated it. And she was like, it made me feel so good as his wife. And I was like, I love that we did that part.
I know. I love hearing that kind of feedback. And that's what we receive most of the time. I know that there's probably negativity out there. We don't hear it.
Yeah.
I don't even really welcome it. I mean, don't really read it, but like, I think hearing it from somebody is different for sure. But yeah, I'm glad you grieved it or whatever for a day. Gave yourself a day.
Yeah.
And now we're back to it.
We're back to it. And I'm loving it.
Yeah.
This was only like, what, 2 days ago, if that?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
And I just woke up a brand new fucking woman. I felt stronger than ever. I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about railing somebody with a fucking 2x4. Ow. See how people feel about that.
Can you be smaller?
Nope. I got to open the minds of those who can't wrap their heads around it.
Fucking 2x4.
Hey, what is wood?
Well, Shan.
Yes, babe.
Should we get into it?
We should absolutely get into it.
So weird.
Okay, so I researched the ick.
Oh, God.
Because Karina finally felt what it feels like to get the ick for the first time.
I've had the ick before.
Oh, but okay,
but not like this. Not like this where I was very into him. We had been texting for a few days. Like, I was so excited to go on this date. Okay, so it was very minor, very little, but instantly I was like, oh my gosh, I don't like him anymore. I don't even think he's cute. I don't even think he's attractive. Like, to that point. And I have never experienced this before. And I remember I called you and I was like, it happened. I've never understood like how you can just shut it off so quickly after you get the ick. But now I understand.
Now you understand.
It's crazy.
I am the queen of the ick.
My virginity has been taken.
Popped your cherry on the ick. And it's funny because you were into him.
I was
into him.
I'm like sad about it because I can't go back. You can't go back. I've tried. I've been like, well, can I maybe try again? I'm like, and in my brain, I'm like, no, you fucking can't. Like you. And I keep thinking about it. I'm like, no, I can't. I cannot.
And it's crazy. Okay, so this was in so many words, but like this was perfectly said in this one article that I read. It says, quote, in modern dating, the ick is primarily experienced by women and feared by men.
I love that so much.
Because apparently the men don't get the ick.
Men don't get the ick?
From everything I'm sure.
I'm sure
that there are men out there who experience it.
Maybe not as easily as women do.
So, and let me tell you why.
Okay.
And it's actually really crazy because it's also something that happens in the animal kingdom among female animals.
What?
Yes. And it's like scientists have like confirmed this. And,
Can you imagine a lion being like, "Oh God, your hair looks awful"?
they do. Like, and it's a whole like mating thing too. And like it goes back to like reproduction. Like it's programmed into women. Like we as women, it's just biological that we want someone that we can like reproduce with, quote unquote, because that's just like in our DNA. And it's biological. So yeah, so female animals and creatures will get more easily like grossed out than their male counterparts. And I'm like, makes sense.
I love it so much.
Think about it, right? If you think about it, like I've talked about it in, I can't remember what episode it was, but like birds fluffing their feathers.
Mm-hmm.
And the women just being like, okay, I'm watching you. I'm looking at you fluff your feathers. And then they're like, nope. And then they go on to the next one that's fluffing their feathers.
Right?
It's like totally biological. It just is what it is.
Well, and if you think about it too, like the peacocks and the fluffing the feathers, like they're always male because they have to show off. Oh my God, this is like women in male fields right now. They have to show off how like pretty they are in order for a female to be like, okay, I'll take you. Same with, I keep going back to lions, but the males have this big, huge, beautiful lion's mane.
Yeah.
And like the females don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they have to prove to the females that they're fucking hot. I fucking love this so much.
Oh, it's the best.
I love
it. It is the best.
So much.
I like never want to stop talking about it. It's funny because there's actually, the whole like ick concept is controlled by the part of your brain called the habenula. And it's in the central part of your brain, and it involves various important functions, including motivation, decision-making, and anything that we're adverse to. So like things that we want to avoid, or, you know.
So it's literally our brains like subconsciously being like, yeah, he's not. Yeah, so I'm going to give you the ick right now.
Yes, it is. It's like a part of your brain that's telling you like, we do not like this.
This is so.
Here is the ick. Yeah. So it like kills your motivation like instantaneously. And you're just kind of like, oh no.
Well, and you were asking me, you checked in with me a day or two after that date, and you were like, how you doing? And like, I honestly haven't even thought about it or him or anything. And so it makes sense. Like all the motivation is gone. We were texting every day for a long time. Like, yeah, all day long. Yeah, pretty much.
And you were like, have the feel good fuzzies in your belly and like, so we'll just end this by saying another thing that was like an end quote to one of the articles that I read about it, but it just says that women are biologically more prone to have self-awareness of the icky feelings.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Oh, it was so great. And I just like, I relate to this so much.
Because ick all the time.
Yeah, well, and before the quote unquote ick was even a word, I've said quote unquote like 27 times, but I am quoting articles, so whatever, it makes sense. But it made it was like that for me before the ick was even like a word. Because it was only discovered, according to these articles that I read, someone on TikTok had said it. They basically just gave it a name is what happened a couple of years ago. Like they basically just put a name to the feeling.
It's caught on.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so another word for it is the yuck, which I love. I love the yuck so much more than the ick.
Don't yuck my yum.
Oh, yeah. Don't yuck my yum. But yeah, I think it's all biological. Because we just like what we like and we want what we want.
Crazy. I am going to listen to my ick so much more now.
Yeah.
And I feel like now that my brain is open to that, it's going to happen more and more.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. I'm just going to go down the line and we'll talk about it as we want to talk about it. But some of these facts were so hilarious to me and some of them were so interesting.
Oh, Love.
I just love learning about like sex and sexual desires. Like, it's so fascinating to me. Like, I wanted to be a psychologist when I was younger because I just am so fascinated by how
the brain works and goes into the body and all the other things. That is fascinating. It's amazing.
So fascinating. Because I think a lot of people are very small-minded and think that especially in relationships, I've been guilty of it. We're also small-minded that we just like assume that the person that we're with is going to be just the perfect fit for us. And they're going to know exactly what we want. And they're going to know exactly what we need.
Oh, no.
And that is just not the case. You're putting two people who, yeah, they're probably a great match, but they're two totally different people with two totally different backgrounds and
communication styles and like, are you avoidant? Are you anxious? Are you...
Yes.
It's so much.
It's a lot. And which makes me so excited. I'm just going to plug this right now since you brought up the attachment style.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited to have the therapist on. I don't want to say her name yet because I don't know if she wants to stay anonymous or not. I'm so excited to talk to her about all of these different like personality styles and like attachment styles and things like that. But anyway, okay. So the first one I'm going to say, because it was the most fascinating to me, vibrators were actually invented in the 19th century as a way to reduce hysteria in women. Makes sense.
This bitch needs to get laid.
For real.
Or, you know what's so...
Like, I had nothing else to say about that. That was all I said.
I love it. Funny enough, I watched a TikTok today where this girl is like, I love me a good 5-minute like quickie.
Oh, same.
She's like, it knocked my attitude right out of me.
Yes.
And I had like the best day ever. And I was like, oh, because we've talked about it in other episodes where I'm like, I like it long and da-da-da.
Yeah.
However,
I am.
Yeah, like if I'm in a fucking bad mood, fuck the bad mood out of me, please.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, I will be a happier person the rest of the day. So that makes
for sure
that vibrators were made. Those women hadn't had an orgasm. And so it makes sense.
Yeah.
That
it totally makes sense. So along with that, and along with what you just said, having sex and having orgasms releases oxytocin. So oxytocin is a hormone that's released, well, it's released anytime like you're happy or you're excited,
right.
But it can also get released during arousal and during orgasms. And so it's like incredibly linked to like love and bonding.
Makes sense.
And so when you are like really into it with somebody and you're like passionate eye contact, things like that, like it's like a very bonding experience. And it can also go along with like kissing and hugging and like cuddling. And it helps with stress. Remember back in a couple episodes ago, and I was like, it is healthy for you. Like
it is.
Sex is like good for your health. So,
love that for us.
Oh, I know. So oxytocin. Send help. So oxytocin is like literally known as the love hormone.
Yeah.
Because when you're aroused, turned on, feeling a certain kind of way about somebody, it plays a role in the bonding of like your relationship and the bonding of like your sexual relationship. So if you're not being like turned on by your significant other, it plays a huge role in your relationship.
Right.
So switch it up in the bedroom. Tell your partner what turns you on, because that is going to bond you. And that is the biggest part of intimacy, because it literally releases a hormone in your brain that makes you feel a certain kind of way. And that's why sex is so important in relationships.
It is so important. It's so hard though to, like, I remember being in my 20s and did I feel great after me and my partner had sex? Oh, fuck yes. However, the reason that I didn't want to so much is, I think, because I didn't really reach I wasn't at my sexual peak at that point in my life. And B, I wasn't getting what a lot of women need and want or have said that they need and want is like, what is it? What do we call it? The foreplay, like throughout the day. Like, my partner checking in with me, my partner, you know.
But you were also in your 20s. And I feel that unless you are like really bonded to somebody, like they don't understand the assignment.
I was with the man for 9 years.
I understand, but how many of those years were you actually happy?
The beginning.
Oh, you mean when he was texting all the time and he was doing all the feel-good fuzzy?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, relationships need work. If it's getting stagnant, that
was
like,
my whole point.
Yeah, it's not just sex, though. Like, it takes a lot of other things.
It does.
In order to make me want to have sex with you.
It's true. Okay, yeah. That's a very...
But now, a woman of my age, I'm like, just fuck me and we can talk about it later because I'm not happy.
Yeah, just like look at me cooking and then pull my pants down and rail me over the oven.
I in my 20s, I was so fucking stubborn. I was like, now we need to talk about shit and blah, blah. Like,
right?
Like, it was a big deal. It was hard.
I know.
We went long periods of time without sex, and now I could not do it.
I couldn't either. I think that, I mean, nobody's perfect. Nobody knows exactly what to do. At the end of the day, we're all just fucking doing our best out here. And and
I will say, in that specific relationship, there wasn't a lot of communication in that. I wasn't communicating to him. He wasn't communicating to me.
Which is like you were in your 20s. Like,
yeah,
that's all I can say to that. Like, looking back on my relationship in my 20s, I was married. I was married for 10 years. I was married from, what was it? 20 to, 9 years. So 20 to 29, 20 to 29. And looking back, like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. This is so healthy. This is amazing. But I'm like, you did not fucking know. Like, no. You did not know.
No, I look back too, because I was in that relationship from 18 to 28.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back now and I'm like, oh my gosh, we both did so many things, not wrong, but like you said, like you're young, like you're still trying to figure it out. But like there's so many things that I've learned from that relationship that I don't do in relationships now, or I don't ever want to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all about growing up and experiences and things I did not know. And I'm pretty sure he did not know. We did not know together what we were doing.
Right.
It was like what you just said. Two people get together and they expect each other to know. And that is exactly what we did.
Right.
We didn't try hard.
No. Well, it's because our brains, like, it's a known fact that your front temporal lobe isn't even fully developed until you're 25. And so you cannot even cognitively think about things. You cannot think about future things. You can't think about like you only think about that moment.
Yeah. It makes sense looking back now.
Yeah.
That blur.
Okay, honestly, like I want to touch on that with a therapist. I know I keep going back to it. I'm just so excited to have her on, but I want to go back to like your front temporal lobe and like that being fully developed, because that changed my life once I figured that out.
Yeah.
And once it was told to me by a therapist, I was like, you just rocked my entire world. I was in my 30s and I found out about that. There are so many just like crazy facts that I love. And I didn't tell Karina any of these facts that I have researched.
I'm being so surprised right now.
She's so surprised right now. And she's like authentically surprised. And it's so funny to me. Okay. So I have, I'm going to go through, I kind of like parted them out in like categories a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the average orgasm for a woman lasts for 20 seconds and the average orgasm for men lasts about 6 seconds.
Oh, I believe that.
I totally believe that. Which is great if you find, as a woman, if you find a partner who can like get off multiple times.
I've been with a guy before, they're like, you're still going? I'm like,
oh, yeah. Don't stop.
Good job. Keep doing what you're doing.
Good for you. I'm so proud of you. High five.
But I totally believe that because, I don't think night orgasms, if they are good, they last about that, if not longer.
I could totally agree.
Oh, I just got chills.
So, I know. Well, it's just, it's so weird to me how taboo sex is.
Oh God.
And like, it's just so weird to me. Okay. Anyway, I'll move on from that because it just,
we can talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
Because
so
Yeah, I'll talk about it later.
Okay. I have said this before, but having orgasms are good for your health.
Yeah.
It can lower the risk of heart disease, stroke, breast cancer, and depression in women.
Oh,
I know. Sex is good. See? Sex is good for you.
any takers?
Any
To lower my stress level.
Getting our DMs. We're joking, kind of.
No,
Anyway.
not joking at all.
Okay, so I kind of feel like I'm not being very much of a girl's girl by this, and there are a couple of things that I'm going to not be very much of a girl's girl
Okay.
with what I have to say.
I'd be surprised right now.
And I actually know this for a literal fact because you know that I get migraines.
Mm-hmm.
And my ex-husband would be like, hey, you have a migraine. Let me fuck it right out of you. And I'd be like, yes, baby, bring it.
What?
Yeah. So sex relieves headaches.
Huh.
Having sex might be the best cure for a headache. What? Yep. 60% of migraine patients and 1/3 of cluster headache patients reported success with sexual activity as a treatment, according to the research of the University of Munster in Germany.
That is so interesting.
I can tell you for a fact that it works. It really does. It's the pleasure hormone that, like, yeah, it's something else.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So if I have a hangover and I have
So we can't, ladies, I apologize, but we cannot use that excuse.
I was like, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
No, not being a girl's girl. I get it now.
It's like the number one thing that women say when they don't want to have sex.
So men, when your women have headaches, be like, I read somewhere,
Yeah.
heard on a podcast that if I fuck it out of you, you'll actually be okay.
You will be just fine.
Your headache will be gone.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So here's one that is so fascinating and I love, and it makes sense because I haven't been getting laid off of reg like I usually do.
Me either.
You will look younger. Yep.
Oh, is that why we looked so young this summer?
This is why we look so young, and now I look 1,000 years old. I'm like a wrinkled up, dried prune of a woman.
We don't. We need to cut your streak. We need to end it.
Oh my God, we do need to end it. Well, I am kid free this weekend.
Nudge, nudge.
Nudge, nudge. So a study at the Royal Edinburgh Hospital found that those who have sex several times a week looked between 7 to 12 years younger than their age.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Fuck Botox. Let's get fucked.
That's exactly fucking right. So regular sex releases hormones, including testosterone and estrogen, that can keep the body looking young and vital.
That is insane.
Insane. So if you want to look younger, just like have sex regularly. 7 to 12 years. Are you kidding me? And everything I read, because I read multiple articles on this, every article I read was within that time frame, age frame, year frame, whatever.
That's crazy.
Insane.
That is crazy.
Crazy. I loved that. And I was like, oh my God, bring on the dick.
Well, it's funny because, not to toot our own horns, but I feel like we look young for our age.
It's because we're fucking freaks. But we do look young.
Because we're having all this sex.
Oh my God.
I need
So
more.
give us more.
The fountain of youth is dick.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, so here's another theme that I'm not going to be a girl's girl.
Oh no.
Sorry.
The second thing. The first thing was
The second, it's really not that bad. So sperm is a natural antidepressant. And this is according to the study that was conducted at the University of New York. So 1 teaspoon of semen contains over 200 proteins and several helpful vitamins and minerals, including vitamin C, calcium, citric acid, fructose, lactic acid, magnesium, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, vitamin B12, and zinc.
Oh my God. Wait, is that
Keep the doctor away, just have a teaspoon of semen a day.
Wait, did they say that you had to eat it or can it just be inside you?
You know what? It actually did not specify.
I'm interested.
I'm also interested. We will get back to you. We'll put it in the show notes.
Because I was going to say, no wonder I'm always so tired after sex. That magnesium.
That magnesium's right. It's all melatonin. Lavender.
Wait, what was the thing I was telling you the other day, though? When I was like, what was it? It was like a TikTok or something. Because that just reminded me that when men go down on women, like our cum is high in protein. And that men should be eating us out more.
I mean, obviously, because men are all about the protein.
You want to bulk up, baby? Go down.
How high in protein is fish?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That was so bad, and I'm totally
so
keeping it.
bad.
I love it so much.
I smell like roses, okay?
Oh, baby, you and me both. It's like honey and lavender combined. Okay, so
I can't. I'm sorry.
oh, it's so good.
Oh my God.
I'll be here all night. Okay, so sex is also 10 times more effective than Valium.
Wow.
Because, again, it goes back to the thing where sex reduces stress.
Ah.
If you have a health, and I'm guessing this is with like a healthy relationship of someone you're having sex with, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean, well, yeah, but there are those times where just like, oh, you just want to come over and bone. Totally. I fucking love that for me. And then they leave and we're like, man, I feel like $1 million.
I feel like I can rule the world right now and I'm so happy.
Oh my God, totally. Okay, Karina, you're actually going to love this one because people who are into kinkier sex may be psychologically healthier. Which I was like, doesn't make sense, but whatever.
I'm so psychologically healthy because I love the kinky sex.
You do. You're totally down with that.
I love that
You're
fact.
very psychologically healthy, so I love that for you.
I love that for me too.
Maybe I need to get more kinky.
It's not for everyone.
It is not for everyone. Okay, so endorphins released during sexual activity actually create a euphoria that's similar to like drug use.
Oh, I totally believe that.
Oh, so do I. It's that high. Everybody says it, like that high that you feel.
Times where I'm like, am I drunk right now? Am I like after like a really good session?
Yeah. I feel like these are kind of like related to, well, the like sperm one and the having all these healthy benefits. Like that's obviously aimed more towards men. So I'm just going to keep on like the men category. So the average length of an erect penis, take a guess.
Oh God, don't. Is it 6 inches?
No.
What? Is it shorter?
What? Which there's nothing wrong with it. I've been with some short dick dudes and it was just fine.
If they know how to use it.
That's exactly right.
And they know how to do foreplay, then we're good.
Yes. 5.36 inches.
That is average?
That is average.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Super interesting. So, okay, this might be one of my favorite facts because it completely makes sense.
Let's hear it.
So, over physical attraction, funny men give women more orgasms.
What have I always said in my dating profiles?
We want someone fucking funny.
Yeah, I need you to make me laugh.
Yeah. According to a study on heterosexual women published in the Journal of Evolutionary Psychology, women had more intense orgasms when they dated men who were funny, self-confident, and had a higher income bracket.
We were just talking about that.
For real.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so women with funnier partners were more likely to initiate having sex. Dudes, men, take a comedy course. Get your lady to want to find you.
I was told any guy, like, I need them to make me laugh. I need them to be funny because I feel like it in turn makes you kind of let loose and you can be your funny self too.
Oh, totally. I totally agree with that. I am down with a funny dude.
Me too.
I don't give a shit what you look like. If you can make me laugh.
It makes them more attractive, I think.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
They can be attractive, make me laugh. And I'm like, yeah, you're so attractive to me now.
Oh, I know. It's a very enduring quality. I want to know what that is now. Now I want to look at the science behind why women love funny men. I got to look that up. I'll link something in our bio or in our description.
I like it, but I couldn't tell you why I like it.
Right.
There's no, I don't know.
Maybe it's like that it makes you feel more at ease or like or if it's like relatable or like, I don't know. Like if somebody has the same kind of like sense of humor as you, you feel like more comfortable.
Good banter.
Yeah.
And everyone's different on that too. Mm-hmm. So different strokes for different folks.
Absolutely.
What somebody else might think is funny, I don't think is funny.
Not true. True. This is so funny to me because it makes me think of so many of the men that have been like overly confident, and now it kind of makes sense. Sleep-deprived men are more likely to believe that women want to have sex with them.
Because they're delulu.
Their brain is like half shut down because they're so sleepy. Oh my God, it's so funny to me. Yeah, so, those sleepy men out there, maybe think twice before you think a woman actually wants to have sex with you. Maybe she's just being nice.
Get some more sleep, bud.
Get some more sleep. So kind of to that point a little bit where we think that someone's attracted to us or not, it takes less than a second to figure out if there is a spark with someone when you meet them.
I completely believe.
Okay, well, actually,
I think the rest of it is trying to convince yourself that there is a spark when there isn't.
Oh, yeah.
Vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Like desperation almost because we're like, oh, we want to be loved.
Or like trying to convince yourself because you've had such good conversation and then you meet them in person and it's not there, being like, well, they said this and we had this, but if it's not there, it's not there.
Right. So it actually only takes half a second for your brain to decide if a potential partner is hot or not, or if you're like into them or not. According to a study in 2008 by the author Stephanie Ortigue, she said, and I quote, "We've found that the brain knows who we desire and when we desire before we are even aware of it."
Wow.
Yeah. So researchers actually found that it takes less time for our subconscious to identify a person as unattractive before we even like know that they are.
That makes so much sense.
I know. It's so wild to me because I'm like, for me, like I think about like the reason behind everything. More so when it comes to like dating and sex, which again is why I think I'm so picky, because I like to like almost nitpick the biology behind it and like the chemistry behind it. And like, I love that like first chemical reaction. And so that just like totally resonates.
That's why meeting in person, I think, is so important.
Oh, it's so important.
Because you can have a connection with somebody over texting, and once you meet in person, it's not there. That's why I like to meet up so soon.
Same.
That's why, when you, it's so hard too, because you can think that they're like the most attractive person.
Yeah.
You're talking to them.
Oh, it's so true.
And then you see them, and I'm sorry, it sounds shallow, but like, I feel like you also need to be attracted to partner or whoever you're going to continue dating, because if the attraction isn't there, they could be a million different things.
Totally.
But you have to be attracted to them.
Yes. And to kind of go along with this whole like spark situation, if you're pushing your woman to be on the pill, it might change the fact that she's attracted to you.
Oh, yes. You're telling me that.
So normally straight women who are attracted to men with different, it's called MHC genes. It's the gene that keeps your immune system working. They could potentially be less attracted to you when they're on the pill. So, I don't know what it is. I think it's the hormones in the pill that will make a woman feel differently about certain types of men, because women are more attracted to men who are genetically similar to them.
When they're on the pill?
In general. So when you are on the pill, it's fucking with your hormones. So you may not be as attracted to that person once you get on these hormone-inducing
Well,
medications.
you've heard of women like getting off the pill or getting off birth control and like breaking up with their boyfriend
Well, yeah.
or husbands or whatever.
Even because there are some IUDs too. Well, I think that the only one, well, that's not true, but I know personally that the only one is the copper IUD that doesn't fuck with your hormone levels.
Because there's no hormones at all.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about that for a second? So the copper IUD, do you know how it works?
I don't know how it works.
It's so
I hate
fucking
it though.
fascinating. So the copper in the IUD like confuses the sperm. There's some like sort of like chemical reaction that like confuses the sperm. So it's like, we don't know where to go.
That is so fun.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
I was on the copper IUD for a minute and I loved that it didn't have hormones, but it was the worst.
Oh, I thought I was going to bleed to death, but it was the only one I could do because I was on the Mirena and that has hormones. Yeah. But it made me a fucking crazy, like loony bin crazy.
No, the Mirena made me crazy too. I'm on the Kyleena right now and I've really, I've watched my reaction to it pretty closely and I feel like this has been my most favorite birth control. But at the same time, now I'm like, oh my God, am I being attracted to men that like I normally wouldn't be if I were to get off of this?
And to think about it, I mean, yeah, it might be something you have to think about and be like, okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing too, though, is almost every woman is on some form of birth control.
Well, I'm sorry, but birth control fucks you up.
It does.
I will never, ever not think that. I think birth control is such a fucking patriarchy, man. Let's think of some birth control for some goddamn men.
I know. I was off of birth control for almost 10 years. Still picked that, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, you're still gonna
but
people who aren't right for you.
But I felt my best when I wasn't on birth control. I still, like I said, like I've been tracking like how I feel and I feel fine on this one.
Yeah. I've had my tubes tied for
lucky
8 years now. Well, it's because I would have never stopped having babies. I fucking love being a mom so much. I would have just been a baby factory forever.
God.
Oh my God. If someone would have been like, I want to put a baby in you, I would have been like, yes. Put your baby inside of me right now.
Like, no. No, thank you.
I want all the babies. You can leave. I don't need you. I just want a baby.
Well, now you have a grandkid.
And now I have a grandbaby. Oh my God.
He's so cute.
He's the best.
I got some balls in for a few days ago and he's just so cute.
He is just everything. He is everything. And he loves his Grammy so much. And I cannot.
Okay, sorry. We can we'll part out.
Yeah, man,
we
love. So, okay, kind of like back to men though. We're getting kind of close to the
Yeah, I want to hear about women.
Yeah. Well, yes, I will. Yeah. So, we'll get to women. I have a bunch about women, but another point to add to men is that 25%. I was actually really shocked by this number. And I think it's because men are so proud that the number is as low as it is for this.
Mm-hmm.
But only 25% of men seek ED care under the age of 40.
Huh.
I don't know. Oh, I should have looked at what it was for over the age of 40, but I think it's a pride thing. I don't think that any man should ever be too proud because it just is what it is. You have depression, you take antidepressants. You are diabetic, you take insulin. You have ED, you take medication for it. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
There's not, it shouldn't be like a shameful thing.
No, for sure. Okay, Now we're going to get to the real fun stuff.
Woo, the women.
We're going to talk about the ladies.
Talk about sex and baby.
Yeah. This is so fascinating to me, and I love it so much. The clitoris is designed to bring a woman pleasure.
Yeah.
That is its sole purpose. That is it.
I love that.
That is the only reason
It's not for
that we have a clit.
anything else.
It is literally not for anything else. Yeah.
Ever made that possible?
Yeah. So for all of the women out there, myself included, who think it's so unfair that we don't have any of these things, and we have, you know, like we have periods and we have all the things that women feel and that women do. We have this one thing, and it's to bring us pleasure. And it is our clit.
That is the sole purpose.
That is the sole purpose.
And men can never find it. God damn it.
I know, if only. So along with that, though, 50 to 75% of women who have climaxes need clitoral stimulation.
I do.
I don't.
I do.
I'm a DP kind of lady.
No, I can get off from someone just like literally.
I know, but that's not is that the only way? This is saying like it's the only way that they can get off.
It's not the only way, but it is.
Well,
it's like 90%. If it's just like penetration,
yeah.
yes, I can, but only after clitoral stimulation.
That's so, I am obviously in a very small percentage of women where I just like to be, but it has to be like a good pounding. Like, they have to take me to fucking pound. Okay, so one of the funniest facts that I read is that women that are super hungry want to have sex more often. For those of you that are on a diet or that are on a diet and they're like wanting to go to Pound Town, that's why. And eating an apple a day also boosts your sexual functions as a woman.
Why?
I don't know. According to science.
According to science, I should start eating more apples.
You don't need to. You're already sexual enough.
I am, and I don't eat that much.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Can you imagine if I ate more?
I wasn't going to say it.
It would be out of control.
Karina would never leave her bedroom. Okay, so this actually kind of goes back to what I said about like going to Pound Town. Only 18% of women can have an orgasm by vaginal penetration.
That is interesting.
It makes sense though, because I know a lot of women that I know have to use like vibrators, or they have to play with their own clit like while they're having sex.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I have always been a huge believer in like foreplay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if you just come over and you're like, okay, bend me over, like not to say that it wouldn't be fun and that I would be aroused, but like, you gotta get me wet.
Yeah.
The way to get me wet, unless like there's a lot of like sexting or, you know, whatever. Like there needs to be some foreplay in some way.
Yeah. And see, I'm like,
for me,
yeah, I'm good with either. But then again, I'm also good with a good quickie. And I'm good with just like ripping each other's clothes off and just fucking going to Pound Town.
But what led up to that? Like sexting?
No, not even necessarily. Because like even being in a relationship, like one of my favorite things, because I've had very sexual partners in the past and we had incredible sex lives. And just like looking across the room and just like the look.
Yeah.
And being like, okay. And then, ooh, follow me upstairs. And then we would just, you know, that was it. Or like if kids weren't around, then we would just kitchen, bathroom, the laundry room, couch, whatever.
I don't know.
It was great. Oh, it's fantastic. And that is what I want. I have to have that in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, you have to be like, can't take his eyes off you, always wants to be with you. Oh,
yeah. I know. That's my big kink is I want to be that number one Okay, so that is kind of a wrap with everything. I only have one more thing to add that's just kind of like an interesting fact about like ages and sex. So a girl from the age of 16 to 25 starts exploring her body. She may have either between 1 and 3 partners, but from 25 to 38, a female knows exactly what she needs and becomes more of like an experienced and like experimental and becomes more of an experimental lover. And then after the age of 38 and women is when she like knows her body and she knows what she wants and she like wants to give pleasure to her significant other because it turns her on. Like she is all about herself. She is in her feminine divine. She knows what she wants.
Oh, I love that.
I know.
I love that for us because we're in that age.
Well, yeah. But I say that after 40, which apparently, according to this, it's 38, but we are more like sexual beings because at that age, like geriatrically, we're done. It's true. Like we're done having children and we're, you know, to a point in our lives. This is a scientific term. This is not a term that I'm using because I won't be geriatric until I'm 100.
My doctor said it best. That term was made up by a man.
Oh, for sure. But it's true because after that age, like, again, biologically, our brains kind of turn to this point of like, okay, we're done reproducing.
Right.
Let's have some fucking fun.
Right. Well, you know, what's funny is when I feel like you and I are, and some other women too are probably more evolved from those studies too, because I feel like I've loved giving my man pleasure and I've been coming into my prime like probably like 30s. Well, I mean, that's pretty spot on actually. 37, 38.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
Well, because I had kids later.
Yeah.
So, but when I was done having kids is when I was really like, yeah, you know, but even before that, I was, like the study said, being experimental, having like fun with it with partners. And now, I'm to the point where I'm like, fucking love sex. I want to try all the things. I want to do all the things. I love my body. I'm comfortable with my body. And I just, for lack of a better word, just like fucking rage, man. Like, just go for it.
Right.
And no, I just love it. And finding a person who can be on your same page with that is even better.
It is so much better. It's fantastic. I mean, again, we're so sex positive and we just don't, it's just kind of like picking out dinner. Like it comes very natural to us.
Who will I have tonight?
Yeah. And so, I mean, I guess that was pretty much all I had for that. The only thing I'd like to add is that I just think that people should have fun. Men, women, we speak more for women because we are women. So obviously, we can't relate a lot to men. We just have to kind of say from like people we've heard from or like things that we've learned.
But we've also heard from a lot of men who listen to our podcast. Like it's I don't want to say educational, but like they like to hear it because we are so open about it.
Yeah.
And we are so comfortable with talking about it and we are so sexually positive and like doing it. And so I think even though we are talking more on behalf of women, I feel like men like hearing about it too.
Oh, for sure. For sure. This is just coming from a place of like, we know we're being judged when people hear this.
Don't care.
We don't care. And we are just here to like have fun and be open and let people know that it's like fine to be open sexually and it's okay to not think of it as like this taboo thing because it is just so not.
Yeah. I kind of love doing this podcast so much because I feel like I'm talking to my 18 to 30-year-old self right now.
Right.
And reassuring her, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because I've always been a pretty sexual person. Yeah, and I go through like my ebbs and flows, but like I've always been a pretty sexual person.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I felt almost ashamed of it. And I love doing the podcast now to maybe reach out to women who were in my position in their younger years and be like, it's okay. You can, like, it's not a bad thing. It's actually pretty freeing and really liberating and really fun.
Yeah, it is
to do that. And you should not ever be ashamed or think twice about it.
You shouldn't. And in fact, kind of going back to the point that I made at the very beginning of the podcast, I think that was why I was so hurt, is because I kind of did feel a little bit ashamed. And I was like, and then I reflected on like who I am as a person and like how I want to speak. And like the point that I'm trying to get across is like to not be ashamed. But again, it was this specific person that I was coming from. But like looking back, I'm like, why did you let this person feel this certain way when you are totally good with who you are and you're totally comfortable in your own skin? And that's why it didn't take me that long to get over it. So you just don't feel ashamed in what you're doing, and just be open and be free with who you are. And if you don't want to share that with anybody, don't. But if you want to like get that inner self going and think these freaky thoughts, like don't judge yourself for that. It's amazing.
No. And listen, we're all human. We're all going to get our feelings hurt a little bit. But the fact that like you had a very quick turnaround just shows where you're at in life and with who you are. And you're going to keep it moving. And you shouldn't be ashamed or feel any kind of way about it because you're amazing.
Big. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We just love each other so big. And seriously, find yourself a best friend. Find yourself a real good best friend who will love all of your crazy and like support you through your toxic moments. That's what I mean.
And we have supported each other through some very toxic moments.
Yeah, we're just a couple of fucking delulus that
as you should. Yes, you're right. Fuck him, fuck them. Everything will be okay. That is the type of best friend that you need.
It is.
You want. And
you can have other people in your life who are going to give you the real talk, but have that one best friend who wants to be just as delulu as you.
We have real talk though too.
Oh, it's
never like.
But it's always out of a place of love, like
and it never feels judgmental.
No, never.
Because we've both been in crazy situations.
Yeah, we have. Okay, well, just to wrap things up, like I just want to say, if you're going to go out and you're going to be, God, just live your best life, man. That's all you can do. Like, if you want to go out and have a one-night stand, just fucking do it. Just be safe. Give your bestie your location and just fucking have fun, man. You live once that you know of. Just live it to the fullest.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I would have done so many more things.
I know. Well, you're young. You're still young.
I'm still young.
You got time. Yeah, got nothing but time.
Keep going. Keep doing.
Okay. Well, I have so many other things that I want to talk about. I just like want this to go on forever, but it can't. So it's gonna have to wait until next week.
We'll record again.
We will record again, I suppose. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Karina?
I don't think so. Just love you so much, Shan.
Oh, I love you too, babe. Okay. That's the end.
To whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it. The odds can stack back against the wall, but even consider it.